Hello, welcome back to JJ's Bakehouse. I'm Ginny and today we're going to make this is called a Tottenham Cake, and I'm not going to get into the whole thing of it. You can look it up if you want to, but I would know this as a school tray bake, old school tray bake. There's so many different names for it, but it's really simple, really quick. Something you can do just for a weekend afternoon for the kids. You can get the kids to do it. It's just really simple, so I just thought I'd show you this one so that it gives you something to do that's quick. So let's begin. So I've got, this is going to be my usual vanilla sponge recipe. So I've got 250 grams of unsalted butter. I'm using stork, the margarine stork in the tub. And then as usual, this is going to go on a medium to high speed for around about 3 to 5 minutes. If you don't have a cream and paddle like I do, make sure you stop and scrape down about 3 times during that. So I'm going to put this on a medium to high speed. You won't be able to hear me, so I'll come off camera and I'll come back to you when it's done. See you in a moment. Okay, so that's mine. Mine took 3 minutes and I'll show you what it looks like. There we are. So you can see here that it is really fluffy and light. It's gone lighter in colour, and that's exactly the way you want it to be. It looks a bit like mousse. Right, so now everything else is going to go in. So I've got here 4 large eggs and 1 extra yolk. So 4 large and 1 extra yolk, that's going in. 250 grams of self-raising flour. If you're using plain flour, you'll have to increase the raising agent. So if you're using self-raising flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. There it is. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And if you're using plain flour, use 1.5 teaspoons. I've got 2 tablespoons of milk and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. There we go. And then all of that in. Make sure you put a tea towel over the top. And now we've got all that lovely fluffy air in there. So we do not want to put this on a high speed. It must be your lowest speed you possibly can, or you're going to knock all of that air out and it just isn't going to have that really fluffy texture to it. So if you over whip your eggs in the mixture, you'll get a dense, horrible, like thick cake, and that would be the reason why you over whisk the eggs. So I let mine go for a minute maximum. So if you haven't got a cream and paddle, like I do, 30 seconds. Scrape down to make sure that everything's there. Good go on the bottom to make sure that egg is incorporated. Back on again. There we go. Mine's done. So now, let me get my tin. Move this. Don't like mess. Okay, I've got a 7 by 11 inch tin here. And I'm going to pour this mixture into the tin. My oven is preheated there to 150 to 150 degrees on a fan assisted, and that would be 160 to 170 on a conventional oven. Right, now let's just pop this in. Go. Try and get it all. You don't want to waste any mixture. Lovely. Pop that back there. And then using this, always pushing out to the sides. Take it from the middle, push out, take it from the middle, always pushing out. If it's dipped a bit more in the middle, that's fine, because it will sort itself out. But you don't want it dipped to the sides, because it's naturally going to come up like that and you're going to end up with thin sides. So, and then side to side, and again, side to side. So that's what mine looks like. And this is going to go into the oven, I'm thinking, for around about 25-26 minutes. I'll tell you exactly how long it took. when I come back. So pop it into the oven. I'll see you soon. Okay, so whilst that's in the oven, I just want to show you, I'm going to make some simple syrup. And I love to put on the tray bake, I love to drizzle some simple syrup across the top. I put vanilla in it, it gives that extra flavour, added moisture, just absolutely love it. So to make this syrup, I have got, it's equal ratios of sugar to water, right? So where is it here? So I've got here 100 grams of sugar, white sugar, and 100 grams, if you weigh it like I do, or mils of water. And we're just going to put that on there, and all we need to do is bring it to the boil. I'm also going to add a teaspoon and a half, no, just a teaspoon. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And that's going to give it a really nice flavour, so when you put it through, the vanilla is just going to sink across the top. And the reason we do this now is because we want to make sure that it's cooled enough to put onto the cake as soon as the cake comes out of the oven. So all you're doing with this is bring it to a boil. As soon as it comes up to a boil, just take it off and put it to one side. All you're doing is just dissolving that sugar. That is it. So it's as simple as that. So as soon as mine comes to the boil, I'll take it off, put it to the back, leave it there, and we'll come back when the cake comes out. So I will see you soon. Right, it's out. Took a little bit longer than I thought. This took 33 minutes and it is lovely. Now it's hot, we need to get the simple syrup on. So my simple syrup's at the back, it's all dissolved, so it's just like that. Just give it a little bit of a stir. Absolutely lovely. Right, and then take the spoon like this across the top and just drizzle it across in a line, and across in a line. You can see it just soak straight in there. I'm just moving the spoon backwards and forwards so that it soaks right in. You don't want to drown it because otherwise it'll go soggy. There's a difference between it being nice and flavourful and soggy. So there we go. That's lovely. Now that simple syrup there can be put in a bottle and put in the fridge for a week. Otherwise, reduce the amount. Obviously that's quite a lot. I'm going to bottle mine and put it into the fridge because I can use it for some other things. But just do 50 of each instead of 100 if you just want to use it for this. Now all we do is just leave this to completely chill and do its own thing. For the next thing we're going to do, you're going to need some royal icing for the top, and you can do this in two ways. You can make it yourself. You can do it in three ways. You can make it yourself, which no, I don't want to do that. So if you are very good and you make your royal icing, well done. You can go to the shop, you can buy it in a bag like this. It's ever so cheap. Follow the instructions on the back. And with this one, it's just this whole bag here with 50 grams of warm water. Mix it up, get some beaters to it, beat it all up, and that will give you royal icing. So if you don't want to use the whole thing, obviously use half and then use 25 mils of water. So royal icing, simple. Or you can go and buy it like this and it's already done for you. So you have three options. You can be great and make it yourself. You can use the powder or buy the ready-made. So I'm making this Tottenham cake, old school pudding, tray bake, whatever you call it, because it's called many different things. Where it originally came from was it was made in Tottenham, and they used to use mulberries to make the top, so it had a pink tinge to it. So in order for this to have to be genuinely the same colour as a Tottenham cake, I'm going to add a bit of black currant squash, because I don't have mulberries, and I'm doing this as easy as I can for you, into my royal icing. So we'll do that when this is cool. And don't forget, I've got my hundreds and thousands, which is lovely, and the kids love them, and they get to sprinkle them, even better. So we'll wait, probably going to take an hour, and we'll come back decorate it, and it'll be ready to eat. So I will see you shortly. Bye bye. Right, it's all cooled. Look, lovely. So I took the outer thing off, and now we're just gonna peel this off. I like to, on the bigger ones, line around the outsides as well, because when you pull it off, it leaves a really nice edge. But you don't have to. There we go. Right, let's get rid of those. Right. So, I've got my ready-made cheating royal icing that I need to open. Which I can't open. Oh my god. There we go. I did it. Right, so now with this, I need to give it a good whip up, it says. So, to make it lovely and smooth. So then I also want to add some of this. So I'm going to add half a, what shall I do? I'm going to do a teaspoon. I'm going to add a teaspoon. So a teaspoon of the blackcurrant squash. And obviously that's straight out the bottle. So there'll be quite a bit of flavour to that as well. And then stir this right round. So let me off camera, give this a stir, because, oh no, actually, don't need to, look, that's not difficult at all. Now it's got a very vague, faint colour to it. Might actually put a tiny bit more in there, because it's not really pink. So, another half teaspoon, so 1.5, don't want to put a lot in because it'll end up being very strong. So that's 1.5. Now if you're making the amount, how much is here? 400 grams. And what's that packet? 350. Okay. So this has that faint pink to it. If you want it to be really pink, you can add colouring, but I don't want to. So that's the consistency you want it to be. And then we're just going to put this across the top. So, and kids all love doing this. You can smell the blackcurrant coming off of it, just a different flavour on the top as well. Right. Little palette knife, I think. And be careful, you don't want it to rip. So you really want to take large amounts across to the edges. Oh, lovely. So always drag quite a bit over. You don't want to pull that sponge. There we go. All the way. Oh, I pulled a little bit. You can hide that by putting a bit more over there. So if you do end up pulling a little bit, just put some over the top. I need some more here. It's not quite thick enough, that's why. There we are, that's better. Such a lovely smell of the blackcurrant coming up, really nice. Right. So it all starts just blending into itself as it relaxes. So there we are, there's the effect. There's a little bit dribbling over at the sides. I really like that look. Sprinkles. So straight over while it's wet. Get all those sprinkles on the top. There we go. And then we just need to leave this just to, for that icing sugar, just to harden off a little bit before we cut it. Otherwise, if you cut it now, it's all just going to break off. So I'm going to leave that for about half an hour, come back and cut it with you. So I'll see you in a moment. Right, we are done. So, time to cut it. So where am I going to go? One. Yeah. Right, straight down there. Lovely. Just give the knife a wipe so that it doesn't all come back through the top. Try and get a nice slice. Lovely. Right. Let's have a look. Need to get under the parchment paper. There we go. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Ooh, I lost some. Really, really spongy all through the middle there. And really, really nice. So that is my Tottenham cake, aka whatever you want to call it. So simple, brilliant to do with the kids. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you soon. Take care.